Hello, what's going on? My name is Rich Ryan. Today we are talking to Alicia Kueker, who is fresh off of her first place finish at DEKAFIT NorCal. In this video, we are going to watch the coverage from DEKAFIT NorCal. We're going to break down each station, talk to Alicia about what she was thinking during it, and just kind of give big takeaways for the event itself. So if you guys are liking this type of content, hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe so you can catch all of these reviews that we're doing, these watch-alongs for these races. Also, if you want to catch our map reviews, very helpful for us to let us know. Also, big shout outs to our Patreon members, especially for Brant Boggs, Brent George, Amy Remmer, Dustin Needham, Kevin Gregory, Micah Dorfner, Kenny West, and Ashley Reese. We really appreciate your support. If you are interested in supporting the athletes here at Torque, you can hit the link down in the show notes and show us that love. In return, you'll get early access to these type of videos and also special discounts on merch and swag. So make sure to check out our Patreon page. It means the world to us and it's very helpful for the athletes here at Torque. Okay, let's do it. All right, Alicia Kueker's here. Alicia, what's up?
What's up, Rich?
I'm excited to watch this. I haven't yet. I watched maybe a quarter of it, so I'm excited to kind of see how it plays out because I didn't really get to see the full thing. So, why don't you do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to pull it up here, and we're gonna get started. All right. So at the start line, there she is. Doing your thing. So going into this race, this was a little bit last second for you, right?
It was last second. I knew about it, but I'm kind of random like that. Like I won't sign up for something and then all of a sudden it's like in 2 weeks and I'm like, oh, let's just do it. So.
And it's it was close, right? Though it wasn't like it was too far.
San Jose is like less than an hour. So it was necessary to go.
Yeah. So as the thing gets started, where is your head at in terms of strategy, pacing? This is your first DEKA event. So have you even done a strong or a mile?
No, never. Now I want to for sure. But my head was, I wanted to win. I'm not going to lie. Like I went in with a pretty good calculated plan, I would say. But you never know what happens. So of course that's always the goal is to win, but that was definitely the goal. I had no idea how it would turn out, but I'm happy with it.
Like it seems like it's a good avenue for you.
Yeah.
Just kind of like the all the pieces here. So coming into the lunges, did you have a strategy for this? Were you trying to crank out these things, or was there any sense of pace? And how did it generally feel?
Yeah, actually, it felt better than training. So when I would do 30 in training, my legs would tire out after like 22. But this, like, I don't know if it was adrenaline or what it was, and just all of us were there together. It felt great. So that felt good starting off with the first station. The strategy was just to go as fast as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You didn't come out of there. So they cut the entire run. So you're coming into basically in second place, coming into the row and after the actual lunges themselves. So popping onto the row, it seems like you're pretty comfortable. How are you as a rower? Did you know where you wanted to be here?
I knew about where I wanted to be, but I would say it's not my strongest, but I think I did okay at it. I always tire my quads out on the row. So I don't know if maybe like my form isn't that great, but
it's probably appropriate. It should be pretty quad dominant.
Yeah.
So you're probably doing it right. Do you remember what your splits were like? What were you rowing per 500 here?
I think right around 2.
Nice.
2 minutes. I think it'll say they pop up, and that's really nice about DEKA. They'll tell you, or at least the top 3 times who, you know what I mean?
But even still, you weren't necessarily looking to be like, oh, if I can be between 158 and 202, that's where I want to be. You were just kind of like, let's get on this thing and crank it.
Kind of. Yeah, I watched the DEKA, the one that Chris won, Austin. And so I watched that one like all week, and I wrote down the times of pretty much everything. And so I kind of had an idea, but it's been a few weeks, so I don't really remember. I think I wanted to be under 2, which I think I can do that fresh, no problem. But we'll see here what the time was. I forget.
And
Maybe like
2:15. You seem to have got in and out of it pretty well, right?
Yeah, that was the plan. That was the plan. I actually saw some people, like, watching this back, I kind of saw them struggle with it. Like, I went out of it first there, but when I came, so 2:04.
With transition. So you figure there's at least 4 to 8 seconds of transition there. So yeah, probably 2 flat to 1:57s.
Maybe 1:55s at the low.
Were you surprised to come out of there first?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then I knew, so that girl Ryan, she's a collegiate something, some track star basically, and so I knew she was faster than me. So getting out of the stations was important because I felt like I was gonna lose some time there on that run.
And she is moving through these box step overs, kind of how you're supposed to.
Oh yeah,
like there's kind of a Deka way.
Yeah, well, they're also like 6 foot, so that helps.
Yeah, because it's a 24-inch box, right? It's not lower for the female.
It's high. Yeah, it's high for. I have got short legs, so like Haley right here is like cranking these. I don't even know what her time was. Yeah, so Haley's at least 6 foot. So
she's that tall. Jeez.
They both are much taller than me.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5". So
okay.
Yeah. So they both beat me out of that by a few seconds.
Yeah, because so Haley was actually out of there before you. So you're in 3rd after this?
No, she just had a faster time.
She's had a faster time.
Yeah.
So are you pressing on the run here when you saw Ryan kind of get out and go? Are you like just settle in? Because you said that you figured she'd be faster than you. Are you kind of just like, where's your head at after 3 stations? Because 3 stations, the beginning is kind of worn off, right? Like the adrenaline,
right.
Like you're not just pressing through it like you could on the first 2. Now you're kind of like, okay, we're breathing hard. This is a little bit longer. Like where's your head at coming into the sit-ups?
Fast transitions. So if you'll watch here, I go right into it. Cause this is my break. I feel like, I just got my feet under immediately and started throwing the ball. So I really tried to cut time there because I do think I was probably struggling on these runs a little bit because I was trying to, stay with Ryan. And then I knew Haley was right behind me too, and she's super fast. So I think I just kind of went into each station thinking like, this is your time to make up, 5-10 seconds. So
every single station you're like, okay, let's hit this as hard as we can. So the runs were, so were you kind of, because this is, again, when you're coming into it, just a little short notice, you didn't have very specific training toward this type of running either, right? So in terms of like turnover, it probably wasn't at its fastest when you're training for mountain races,
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't change anything about my training. Maybe the week before I did. No, I really didn't. I stuck with the plan. And so like there was a few speed days in there, but they weren't directed towards Deka. They are still direct, like the plan is still Big Bear. So yeah, those 500s hurt a little bit, but I mean, it was fine.
It doesn't seem like you were over revving.
Right? I know, watching this back, a lot of people said that too. They're like, you looked really comfortable. Of course I wasn't comfortable, but I just tried to stay like, not push it too much. And
then the ski erg's kind of a game changer. This is the first real station where there's a bit of a skill discrepancy and fatigue can kind of start settling in. It's right about the halfway point. So you've done some high rocks. So you've done at least the ski erg in competition a little bit. But what was your plan here? Like, did you know where to go, or the same kind of thing? Just kind of get on this and crank to whatever feels comfortable for what you could hold, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I came into this one pretty calculated. I have a ski erg at home.
Oh, nice.
So I've been really, really working on the ski erg, and then leading up to it, I was on the ski erg every other day. So I knew that this was going to be the station, or that was the plan, to just crank. On a good day, fresh, I can hit 500 in like 137. But I know my ski erg is different than the concept one.
Oh, so okay.
Be a little
I was like, what?
It's
look at these fans.
I know. Yeah, but mine is the ski row.
The
So
one that like sets up and comes.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
talking to somebody who has one of those, and he was like, "Yeah, it's about the same." And then his times in Deca, they were not. It was not even close to the same.
yeah, I mean, I still did the 500, and
Oh,
it'll say like I think it was around 214 maybe. They'll say it, I believe. But
were
that
you
was the
surprised to get out of there first? Because I mean, that was probably about 5 to 6 seconds that Ryan had on you there
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I skied that in 221. So okay, that was
with
much.
transitions. So again,
Okay.
like probably
Yeah.
210 to 212 ish.
I was I was pleased to come out first. I don't know. I stayed in my head, and I was still thinking, okay, they're going to catch me on the run, so I was happy to get out first.
And are did this change the way that you approach this run, or were you kind of like, okay, let's just settle back into this pace, or were you like, oh shit, I got the lead now, like I gotta go?
Well, I knew Farmer Carry was coming up, and this is a really strong station. So I did hammer a little bit, and then I definitely put some time on this station. And so yeah, I wish that I could see the run times.
I
You know how
know.
that would be nice, because I would be willing to bet that I was maybe like second or third on each. I don't think that I was the fast. I know I wasn't the fastest runner. Um,
Maybe
but
toward the back end though, where the fatigue really starts to settle in, and it seems like these stations are taking a little bit more out of the faster runners, so that like they were
yeah,
probably coming back where you were probably coming forward. And the farmer's carry is almost a break.
it is a break, but it makes the run, I mean, back to back, because you're
That's true.
farmer carrying for what, 40 seconds maybe. So
So for someone that would rather have a break on the running, it's not
right,
really a break.
right.
So
So
you're able
yeah,
to. Oh yeah. So that's not even Ryan there either. So she's struggling at this point,
it
and
would. Yeah, I think she walked on this one a little bit, and I mean, you have to run. You have to run with the dumbbells.
you have to run.
It's short.
Yeah. There's not a ton of like strategy there. There's not a ton to conserve. It's just like pick it up and hang on to it. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the game changer. So when you came into this, did you know which, like it seemed like that bike was about the height that you needed?
Yeah, I picked that one
Um,
out.
did you know
Um,
that was though? Did you set that one up yourself, or was it just did it just look right?
I so I actually made a mistake. It was too low, but
Oh,
that was my plan. I went, the morning before, and I found one on setting 5, I think, and I thought, oh, okay, this is fine. And I didn't warm up long enough or hard enough for me to realize that it was too low.
mm,
But I knew exactly what bike I was going to. Um, just just based on the setting that I thought that was the correct setting, or the correct height, but that I think I need a little more practice on figuring out, like, when I'm tired, because I kept sliding off the back because I was like sweaty and it was a little too low, but it was all
well,
right.
if we just look at the arm difference between you and Ryan here, like Ryan's way out, like flared here, which is a much less powerful position. If you're going to be on the skier, like you're probably the assault bike, you want those tucked in a little bit more because that's going to be much more advantageous for pushing. Like think about like punching someone straight ahead with
Right.
their elbows flared out. Like
Yeah.
she's just under fatigue and she's standing on it, as opposed to what
Mhm.
you're doing. You're punching and kicking essentially, right? It's more like a swim
Yeah.
stroke where it's got to be kind of evenly distributed, and she's just kind of hammering. So she's probably going way slower and working much harder. Do you remember what your
Right.
RPMs were like on this or anything?
I have no idea, honestly. Yeah, this was a pretty black state for me. I
How's this
came off
run?
of it. Oh, the worst. I came off of it barely, I felt like I was just shuffling. Um, but it's interesting. So with Ryan right next to me, and she kept standing up like that, I thought mentally I was like, oh, she's hammering this bike, but I
Yeah.
think she was a little more fatigued there. But it was good. It was good to see that back, that like, I think when I got off, she still had like 7 calories or something. So, but I thought she
Yeah.
was catching me, and I just, tried to mentally stay in it and just, play my game.
Because everybody's struggling hard here.
Mhm.
Like the people that usually end up with the fastest one, I like that person who had the fastest, like really wasn't necessarily in this race. So they probably were just saving until this point.
Yeah.
But it's too late to do that. Like you can't really conserve for this bike and expect to be in the mix unless your fitness is really high and you can just kind of be around and then just like
Right.
hammer.
And then, yeah.
Um, so like trying to recover after that is a struggle. And then coming into this, did this ball feel pretty light?
Yeah, it's pretty easy, I would say. Yeah. Well, I don't even know how heavy is it? 14 pounds or is it
40.
20? Oh, 40? Oh,
Yeah, 14.
um,
It felt like 14.
I was like tossing it over. I'm sure I'm not doing it the most efficient, but I mean, I did it really fast.
I'm not exactly
So
sure how to do this one, honestly.
yeah.
I think it
I
is
mean,
just manage it and hustle around.
I think so too. I think you just got to be quick, quick, like in your like in and out. You know what I mean? The things are the wood is in your way, and you just have to like be aware of where your feet are at, and just be as fast and agile as you can.
And so, are you worried people are coming for you? Because again, this is such a oh wow, you killed everybody. You are
Yeah.
61 there, and like the next set was 75. Wow. So you put on a bunch of time there. So whatever you did,
Whatever I did worked. I think I gained like 30 seconds on that one. Just total with the because I came in like 15 seconds ahead.
wow.
Yeah.
And so, are you thinking? Because that's what's weird about that one. Because the state of fatigue is so heavy that it's
Mhm.
like uh, it doesn't feel like it's going well, right? Were you worried people were
Right.
going to be catching you?
Um, I was, but I think after the bike, if I still got into the bike or in and out of the bike first, I think that I was okay. Cause I started to see like a gap of like they were no longer like right behind me. They were like across the, across the
You could
building.
see it, okay, on the runs. So you're
Yeah.
like
So
they're
I was
not
like
really
a half
on
a lap ahead. And so I
it.
felt like I was okay. Didn't really know what to expect here with the tank push.
This is
It
the first
was
time you touched it?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think it was fine. I'm sure I could get a little better at it. It's just long, like 5 times is a lot,
Mhm.
but
And
it was fine.
it's it is really just managing the fatigue, right? It's like just keep kind of going. I kind of think it's like a mountain hill,
Yeah.
just like a climb where it's just like you're gonna have fatigue in your quads and just how well you're able to manage it. It's not really a strength.
Yeah, and it's not like high rock sled, you know what I
No.
mean? And so, I think for this, I knew you can't really catch I mean, unless you just die and stop moving, you
Yeah.
can't really catch I mean, I don't know, maybe it's happened before, but I felt like the lead here was, like, strong enough.
It's like I think like someone can make up 20 to 30 seconds if one person was really struggling, one person's really hammering.
Mhm.
But for the most part, yeah, I think you're right. Everyone's tired. It's
Yeah,
not
I
really going
think
to do
it's light
much.
enough for the
Yeah,
females for us to not, like, struggle too bad on it. Like, you're not
I
really
agree.
taking breaks.
No, like it's just about
Yeah.
managing that fatigue. So I mean, you got a decent lead here. Are you thinking
Mhm.
about the win? Are you thinking about pushing to the ends? Like, because this is a part, right? Like you could probably pack it in a little bit,
Yeah.
or just push as hard as possible. What'd you do here?
I thought that I had it. Ram burpees I'm really strong at. I do them very often.
You have a
And so
ram?
what's that?
You have a ram?
I have 4 of them.
Four
Yeah.
rams.
I train a lot of my clients with them, so
Yeah, I can see that.
they're
Very
always
mobile.
in the back of my car.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I knew if I came in, and I had like a 5 burpee lead, I would be fine. And so I pretty much knew I had it because I train with the 33 RAM, and so the 22 actually is not too bad.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think I knew I had it here. She came in, this girl, Shannon here, she came out of nowhere, by the way, and like super fast runner. But she came in when I was on 7. And
Oh,
so I didn't really let off the gas, but I knew I had it.
and that's it.
That
With the
was it.
clap,
I
that
know.
that clap was like, break had a steal on defense, fast break, and one
I
clap.
know.
It
It
was
was. It
amazing.
was an and one clap.
It was an and one clap. I loved it. When I saw it, I was hyped because that was like the clip that we had on Instagram. I was like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. And so, this girl actually had struggled on this. She does. This must
Yeah.
be the first time she's been doing these because, like,
Yeah,
she's stepping back a little bit.
she said she didn't, she just came to like show up and see what she could do. So, yeah, it was
So now
awesome.
that, yeah, so there's Yancey just giving you the goods. So coming out of this now, I'm just gonna close this out. So now that was 2 weeks ago, right? So now I've had some time to reflect on from like when we're talking. What
Mhm.
were some of the takeaways you had? Like, how did you feel about the performance overall? And like, what's your general feeling about DEKA like moving forward?
I'm happy to hear that there's a world championship. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, and you're sitting, I think, fourth,
Yeah, I'm in fourth right now, so I would assume that I wouldn't get knocked out of the 12. What is it? Top 12?
top 12 go.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I feel excited about that. I feel like it's definitely a trainable thing. So I have access
Yes.
to everything that I need. Not really putting any emphasis on it. I'm really excited because I think I could have gone faster. Um, so it's interesting. Like when I crossed the finish line, I was tired for like 20 seconds or so, but I felt great. Like I didn't feel, I was almost like, dang, I should have I should have pushed a little harder. But I mean, maybe because
Nice.
it's a shorter race, right? So we're used to racing maybe a little longer.
And your volume's up because of that,
Yeah.
right? Like, so you're handling it where like your speed, which is probably what would take you into that next level of
Yeah.
fatigue, probably didn't have access to that necessarily, just because, like you said, this race is trainable, but you hadn't necessarily been training for it. So like to
Right.
push into that, you might not have had that on this day, but like your
Yeah.
strength was enough to
Yeah, and
handle it.
then, like, watching back and just looking at the stations, I felt like I did really well on the stations, and I've always been pretty okay at functional fitness, and so I've been training those specific things here and there since I kinda dabbled into high rocks, and I feel like doing a strong would be right up my alley. So I
Hmm.
would really like to see that because if you take the running out of what I did there, I think I could have pushed a little harder. Um, so that's exciting.
What's actually awesome is the mile is
Mhm.
not such a long run that the runners can like actually get into it, but it's also a
Yeah,
little bit of a break. So you're strong. Your stations might actually be stronger than you're strong. Where like if you're like a CrossFitter, for example, who trains in that like 10 to 20 minute modality like every day and like high
yeah,
end and run, like that's a little bit more in that space. But the mile, where like you'll get a little bit of a reprieve, like yeah, you should definitely find both of those to do because there's world like that will also be at the world championships. You can do a strong and a mile the second day.
gotcha. So yeah, so people do that the same day? Are they like
It's
would they
the
run events?
so the fit and the mile would be at like the local gym. It'll be like at an affiliate.
Yeah, I think there's one coming up next month.
You should do it if it
I'm gonna
doesn't
do
conflict. If it's not like the same day as Big Bear or something.
right.
But yeah, you should definitely pop into that just to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think I wanna try the strong, well, I wanna try them all, but the other thing I took away from it actually was just, like, a new way to train. Like, if you just do, like, a DECA sim, that's such a good workout, and, I mean, if you
Hmm.
just do the workout or, like, if you don't have access to, like, the sled or something like that, you can there's just so many ways to, like, modify, so for myself and for clients, I'm like, this is great, you know? So I really liked that just because it's functional and I think it translates a little bit.
Sure, it's like it's and like, that's like their thing, right? Is that it's approachable enough that
Mhm.
everybody can kind of do it. So it's not like a high rocks where you should probably spend a year to
Yeah.
train specifically for it, still get killed, and then like train another year before you don't get killed. In Deca, it's like you can just kind of get off the couch and do all of this stuff because none of it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally like a 5K versus a marathon. Is kind of how I pitch the two together. Like anybody can do a 5K, might not do it
Right.
well, but the better you do it, the more and more it will hurt, and like the higher end it can get. Where the marathon, like you can't just get off the couch and do a marathon.
Yeah, I agree. Yancey did a really good job of like kind of pumping us up before, and he kind of said, you know, he was like, there's gonna be people here that are gonna walk and finish it, and there's, you know, and that was like really cool to see, because it did kind of make you think, go back to like the road races where people are walking to finish the 5K, but they're still gonna finish. Like you said, anyone can get up and like do it. So that was cool to just see like the variety of humans, and like it was, I really liked it. I liked the environment, and I like it. I like that a lot.
And it's nice in terms of how the World Championship fits into the year, because it's like way at the end. It's like mid-November. So it's like you could do the whole series, and like it would conflict a little bit with training for Abu Dhabi if that was just something that you wanted to do. Like it might be a little bit in the way of that, because again, it would be a cross-country trip for you. Right. But I don't know. But then it gives a good chunk of time to actually dedicate toward it if you wanted to. Will you do SoCal?
It's May 18th. Oh, wait, or no.
It's the weekend
after Big
Bear.
So I'm thinking no, just because I'll probably drive to Big Bear, and then that would mean 2 weekends back to back driving to or like SoCal. And I'm going to Tahoe the weekend before. I'm going to Mexico the week before. It's just probably
too
not.
Much. You need a weekend, yeah.
But it is a little tempting, but probably not.
There's Chicago. You can make a trip back to the Midwest in July.
Okay, July's pretty open, other than Utah.
Utah is like July, like mid-July. Yeah, I think it's like July 30th or whatever. Like the very end of the month is. Yeah. In Chicago.
Okay, and so it's just the DEKAFIT, right?
That one's just DEKAFIT and like the team thing or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that. Last year they did ones like or Deca Trifecta, where it would be one day would be DEKAFIT and the next day would be Fit and Strong, so you could do them all in a weekend. That's at the. Cool. It would be cool. It'd be cool to do, because sometimes the gym setups are really wonky. It's just like you got to deal with whatever the layout is, and like it matters for your time. But if it was at like a convention hall like that, where it'd just be like loops or like everything set up right next to each other, it'd be like really, really easy. Yeah. And you won the team.
Yeah, that was so fun. That hurt worse.
Really?
Oh yeah. And that's why I was like, man, maybe I should have went a little faster this morning. We crushed it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so Alex and Bridget have the world record. Yeah. And it was like 29:30, I don't know, 32 maybe. And so we told Yancey, we had no idea. We're like, we're gonna try for this. So let us
popping off at the mouth. You're like, all right, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, and Haley is she took second that day. So we were set up pretty well, and then
super team.
Yeah, and we trained together. She's local here. I've known her for I've known her for a long time. So we did a sim the Sunday before, and so we had a plan, and we were on pace for the world record until the tank. So it was cool. It was just fun. Like it was at 4 p.m. that day. So I think everyone was kind of like wrapping up, but there were still a lot of people there, and they just did a good job. Like the MC, like they kept saying like they're on pace, and people were cheering us on, and we were moving. Like those 250s were something.
Is that what you were doing? Were you like handing off every 250? And in the stations, were you splitting them, or was somebody like
we split all but like 3 of them? Like I did the whole rower, she did the whole bike, and then I did the whole farmer carry. So certain ones, like I did the full 500 before the bike, so she could rest or after. And then so we had kind of a plan, but it was thrown together, and like the week before. Yeah. So I think like just doing it like on a whim like that, we did really, really well. So we were running so fast. Like I've never done anything like that, like pass the baton, because I never did track. So that was interesting. And like, I don't know, grabbing. I felt like I was flying. It was fun.
Cool. It's nice to get away with, and those batons are pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool,
They're
couple cool
I have mine
trophies.
right here.
Now you have a fifth ram because of
This
your
is my
trophy.
4th.
That's your fourth. Okay.
Yeah.
We just did the cross country move, and that one didn't make the cut.
Oh,
My
no.
trophy. It's just like a little bit. If it was like a usable weight, it's
Yeah, for
like
you. Yeah.
it's like a 22 or something like that. It's like a little bit too light, but a little bit too heavy to bring across the country. It's just not. It
Yeah.
just like isn't. So hopefully I'll get another one.
Yeah, you will.
Well, cool, Alicia. So you have Big Bear next. That's where we'll see you next, right?
Big Bear next. I'm doing a local race in Mexico coming up, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very similar to DEKA,
Oh, is it really?
but in Spanish.
Cool. Well, it's gonna be like functional fitness type
Yep.
stuff. Oh,
Yep.
cool. When's that?
May 1st or 2nd.
Okay.
Coming up. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's just in a couple weeks. Well, cool. So congrats on this. It's super fun. It's fun to watch you and have you come away with 2 W's. It's pretty cool in your first DEKA attempt. So congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.